Happy New Year and welcome back to Nintendo Nostalgia episode 11. I'm Jacob Russ along with my co-host Ryan Black, and we're back and we're playing with power. Now today on the Nintendo Nostalgia we have two special things we're bringing to the show. The first one is it's Ryan's birthday. Happy birthday, brother. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great, thank you. Just got finished eating all-you-can-eat sushi and I ate my fill, let's just say.
I know, you were late to the show. Thanks a lot. How old are you? Tell everyone how old you are.
29.
Oh, you're such an old man. Man, you're really turning that corner, aren't you? 29. Well, happy birthday, Ryan. I'm glad that you were willing to just not cancel the show and show up and be a part of it, because this is the first episode of 2017, and we got lots of big plans. If you missed it, you were done. We were going to replace you with our next guy, our special guest we have onto the show. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Nintendo Guru. Not anybody, not some schmuck, the Nintendo Guru, Bobby Pauls. He runs If We Ran Nintendo. How's it going, Bobby?
Very good. How you guys doing today? It amazes me to sit here and listen to two young guys talk about getting old. Like, 29 is old. This is pathetic. You guys are, man, I'm sitting back I'm walking off this show. This is hard.
29. I feel old. I'm 26. Woo. Bobby,
shut up.
What were you doing when you were 26, Bobby?
26. I moved out of my mom's house. I moved in with my girlfriend. I got engaged. A year later, I broke up with her and moved back in with my mom. So I was very stupid at 26.
Well, you've come a long way, I can tell, because you've become a guru of Nintendo.
I am not a guru. I am a huge fan of Nintendo. That's the extent of it. I use the name Guru. It's stupidity. That's it.
Well, I love it, and Ryan and I are honored to have you on the show.
Thank you.
For everyone who doesn't know, Bobby and his co-host Sean Capri. This show wouldn't really exist if it wasn't for the help of these guys. We reached out to them in the summer of last year, and we were really inspired and wanted to start a show and had no clue what we were doing. And we're still learning. Right now, we're no professionals by all means, but we're always trying to get better. But the show wouldn't exist if it wasn't for them. They took time and helped us strange guys from Indiana start a Nintendo podcast. And Ryan and I said once we get past episode 10, we really want to start having a lot of guests on. And we said from the get-go, we want to kick it off, this season off, with having Bobby on the show. And later on, we'll want to get Sean on the show as well. But
it's real simple. If you're a fan of Nintendo Nostalgia and you think it's an amazing show, then me and Sean had all the input in the world, and we push these guys. If you don't like the show, it's Jacob and Ryan. They're just messing up. But me and Sean, if you love it, you can thank us. That's
I can't argue with that. You really helped. You really helped put the show together. I mean, we got the advice from the Nintendo Guru, so I mean, it's just kind of an automatic credit goes to you guys there.
Thank you.
No, thank you, Bobby, and thank you for coming on the show. We're really excited about this. Like, I was showing Bobby my notes before the show, and I've never filled out so many notes in my life. I was like, we got some big celebrity on the show today.
Stop.
We have got to nail this.
Get out of here. Come on.
Hey, man.
Now I feel like Sean, because Sean always gets embarrassed and awkward when people compliment him. And I can take it and I'm good, but like, calm down. Let's get it. Let's go.
Man. Hey, I'm a big fan. I hang on your every word every week.
Thank you very much. That means a lot, seriously. All jokes aside, like, it means a lot that, Sean and I have always said, like, we're blessed, and Toby, we're blessed just to have one person listen to us, let alone, a couple people. So the fact that you guys listen, that means the world, man. So thank you very much.
No problem at all. Well, with that said, we're going to go ahead and jump into some news and discussion. And really, I don't really feel like there's been a lot of news as of late. I mean, there's been a bunch of rumors, and it's kind of the same stuff being retold by different people. And this is happening and this isn't happening. But guys, do you realize the Switch is going to be? We're going to know everything about the Switch. In what? Well, this show's going to air on Thursday, so a week from when this show airs, we will be getting ready for the Switch.
I know. I just did a video literally before we went live. I shot a video for my YouTube channel, and I was like, are you guys? One of the things I said was like, are you guys ready for Switchmas? Because it's like that's what it feels like, man. It's going to be so much news, so much awesomeness. Like I can't wait, honestly.
You're absolutely right. I told Ryan a couple episodes back that like waiting for Christmas was like almost it was the first time like I love Christmas. It's my favorite holiday of the year, but being focused on Christmas made the wait bearable for the Switch reveal because the Switch is right behind it. So it kind of took my mind off it all.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm almost to the point. I'm like, one more week. I can't take it. I just want to know now.
I know.
This is kind of Christmas number 2. It really is. This is the E3 we should have had.
Pretty much. I feel like this is. I feel like Nintendo can go one of two ways with this. They can either really do well with it, or they can really mess things up. Mm-hmm. And I think to cap off kind of what you're saying, there's not a lot of news. A lot of the stuff that's coming out right now is just leaks, and I've tried my best not to read the leaks and not get into the leaks, just because I don't want to ruin the 12th. Like I've been so excited for the 12th. The minute we knew like October or January 12th, we're going to get something. Mm-hmm. I just kind of like been doing my best to disconnect. And I definitely been staying away from, Liam and Emily and Laura. Cause I just feel like stop, like enough. I don't care no more. Like I want to hear it from Nintendo because everything starts with take this with a grain of salt.
Yes.
I don't want to. I'm tired of salt, man. I just want to know what's going on, and I just want to know from the sources, not from you guys who talk to some guy who you can't talk about. It's a source, and it's a closed source. Like I just want it to be done with, and I think today really was like. Enough. Like I read today that I guess Laura is saying that Mother 3 is going to come to the virtual console for Switch. And I posted it in the NVC group today, and I was like, well, if they keep leaking it enough, eventually they're going to get it right. Like Emily said this like, a year ago that we were getting it. And it's like, I can sit here every day and say that like, Chrono Trigger is going to come to the Nintendo. Mm-hmm. Well, if I continue to say it, eventually, some point, maybe 50 years down the road, it might happen. But it's just like, just stop. Just I can't take it no more.
Well, when Ryan and I, every year we've been doing this for the past maybe 3 or 4 summers now. When E3 comes, we get off of social media at least for that whole week. Once E3 is here, we are off. And we get together and we make a big deal out of it. We get dinner and stuff, whatever, and we just hang out as buddies and we watch the whole Nintendo conference together. This past year was a lot harder. It was just Zelda stuff, but that's what we typically do, and we stay away from it because, man, there is this. If we know everything, if all the leaks and rumors are right. Then you get to the presentation, and I mean, it's like, oh, okay, great, if that's what you wanted. But then there's nothing extra. There's nothing that sweet surprise. I always hope Nintendo is going to like at the end of E3, you think it's over, and then there's a teaser for the next Metroid game. Yeah.
I think where we're at now, the problem is that right now, what's coming out either. I just don't see how it helps Nintendo. And why I mean that is this. like for me, I've tried to disconnect the best I could. Now I've seen some things, but I don't know what's true and what's not because, like I said, now we're at the point where they're starting to contradict the stuff that they said months ago, and I don't get it, but whatever. And so for me, it's like if you sit there and you tell people that this is what the console is and this is what it's going to do, and you know, meaning power wise, and then if it doesn't do that, it don't perform to that or whatever, then you hurt Nintendo. In the long haul. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the biggest issue right now that we're looking at is with all these people saying what it's going to be and what it's not going to be and all that. It's like you run the risk of, like, there was like 10K. 10K was coming out saying, like, it's going to be PS4 caliber power, this, that, the other. And I was like, first off, a handheld is not going to be the caliber of a PS4. It's not going to happen. Stop putting that in people's heads because then when it doesn't happen, people are going to get mad at Nintendo. Like, oh, well, it should be. Well, no, it shouldn't be. Like, would it be nice? Absolutely. But let's get in reality. Like, if you want this thing to be cost effective, there is no – a PS4 costs $400. What do you think it's going to cost to make a mobile PS4?
No.
Like 5, 6?
Too much. Way too much.
Come on. Like, just – people just got to lower expectations and just go into this thing and enjoy it. And, you know, I was complaining a lot about the leakers and all that stuff. And we had Sean, I think it was on the Geekcast, if I'm not mistaken. And Sean was just like, he started yelling at me. He's like, stop. He's like, just disconnect. Stop it. He's like, you don't have to follow these people. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Twitter's hard because if someone retweets something, that makes it a little tough. But Facebook, you can kind of disconnect from that stuff and you can stay away from it. So it's a little easier.
I really kind of regret reading a lot of the leaks and the rumors and stuff because it's gotten these high expectations, like for me now, like where I expect the price to be a certain price. Yeah. And like it could either be like really, really awesome, I'm really hyped for it, and it could actually even exceed that or be on par with the rumors, or it could be like miss that mark and I'm gonna be so disappointed in Nintendo. And I don't want that to happen. I wish I would never even read that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that stuff is noise.
The one thing I'll say about this with the price leak. So the price leak was, you're talking about the one in Canada at $329, the Toys R Us one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's go over that one for a second. So Toby, who lives in the United Kingdom, friend of mine on the Geekcast, he's my co-host. He actually pre-ordered Switch already, right? Wow. He pre-ordered it for £200. Price guaranteed. That's the price he'll pay. If it's more expensive, he still pays the $200. If it's less, he pays he'll pay less. But for a business to go and say it's £200, to me, they know something. They got to know something because they'd be stupid to go. It's £200 no matter what. Then the thing comes out to be £500, and then they're done. They're going out of business because there ain't no way it's going to work. Price guaranteed. They've already taken the money. He's got it. When it launches, he has it. They're telling him he'll get it March 17th. So that's another thing that's good. But £199 converts to about $250 American, which then $250 converts to about $329, $320 Canadian. And the original Toys R Us rumor was $320. So if I kind of think that rumor was legit, and I'm hoping it does become true, because I'll tell you what, I'll have two of them each day. Yeah. I'm not even gonna play games, man.
Are you thinking it's I'm thinking 250 would be like a basic set, and then 300 could be like a bundle of some sort. That's what I'm more higher power, kind of like the Wii U was.
Where you had a weaker version for what was it, 300, and then you had the powerful version for 350, and that was just memory you were paying for. Yeah, I don't know how it's going to work. Like, I think that they're going to go one SKU. I would think they might go a couple SKUs if they're doing pack-ins. Okay. So if let's say it's $250 in the United States, and that's the basic model, and you don't get anything with it, and then they go $300 and you get a game, or $300 and you get a controller, or something like that. Listen, we live in the United States. GameStop's going to have it at 50 different price levels, and it's going to be, one controller, you get this price, and you'll get a controller and 3 games and a charging station for this price. Like, GameStop does these wacky things when it comes to bundles and stuff, but I think we're going to be in a good place.
I'm excited for it.
I am too.
I saw another, I guess, leak or rumor, but it was completely and totally skewed towards attacking Nintendo, and I definitely don't want to see that popping up the week before. So I'm thinking about like just escaping from the whole rumor thing.
What was the rumor you saw?
They were saying like it was like Persona 5, and there was, I can't remember what the other game was. There was another game that said that it wasn't coming out for the Nintendo Switch or for PC, and it was actually something that was a PlayStation exclusive. So
because Persona 5 that Persona series is an exclusive to Sony.
Exactly. So when they posted that, it was meant to attack Nintendo in the way like it was to say, hey, the Switch isn't going to be awesome. It's supposed to cause this scare that third-party people weren't going to support Nintendo. And it was for those people that don't know that, like, that would cause a panic. And I don't want to see that happening right now. That really upsets me.
See, my feeling is this, is like, and this still, I think, something you need to look at when it comes to Nintendo rumors, Nintendo attacks, things of that nature, or where you feel like that. Like, I don't get upset with that stuff anymore. There was a time where I'd be like tearing people up and screaming at them in threads and all that. But at this point, you look at it and you go, there's no sense getting worked up about it, because the people that know gaming, you, Jacob, like all these other people, you don't have to worry about it. Like, who's not going to know? Like, my mom, she don't care about third-party developers. You know what I mean? Like, she's not going to buy it anyway, so it doesn't matter. But like anybody that's a gamer, they know what third-party means. They care about third parties. They are going to already know that this is an exclusive and that Nintendo was never going to get it. That's why we got Tokyo Mirage Sessions, because that's their kind of version of Persona to some degree. So with that said, I think you're looking at a situation where, the true gamers don't worry about this stuff, because we know what's actually the truth and what's not the truth. We can read through all the BS. The people that don't pay attention to it, they don't know who they don't know a third party developer is anyway. Now, they might read that article and think, oh, Nintendo's not getting Persona, they're doomed, because that might be what the article is. But really, honestly, like, and think about it and be honest with yourself. Like, is your parents reading that article? Are your friends that don't game, are they reading that article? No, because they don't go into the gaming sites. And that's the end of like, that's where you got to look at it and go, I'm not going to let that stuff bother me and not let it get me worked up, because anybody that knows about video gaming is going to say something. And the truth is like, if your mom or your cousin comes to you and says something to you about this, you are going to correct them because you know the truth. And then it's done. It's squashed. You know what I mean? Like, anybody that looks at Nintendo and goes, they're not going to have third-party support this time, I don't agree. I think coming out the gates, they're going to get a lot of support. I think that we as Nintendo fans, if you care about Nintendo in any manner whatsoever, you need to support third parties coming out the gates this time, because we need them to stick around. And I think that, like, the idea too is, if you buy a Switch, you're going to help, because when we had Jules Watcham on If We Ran Nintendo a few months ago, we had a thing where we were like, what does Nintendo need to do to keep bring third parties in? And Jules was like, just sell Switches. If Nintendo sells Switches, sorry, but 50 million, that's why people go and make games for Sony, because you got 50 million units sold. If you got 50 million units sold, it's going to be hard for third parties to turn a blind eye to you. Doesn't matter how powerful your thing is, they're going to go, we know that we put stuff over there, we're going to sell stuff. So let's put stuff over there.
Well, look at the Wii. I mean, the Wii is a prime example of that. The Wii was underpowered completely.
Yep.
And everyone's like, oh, they didn't make games for the Wii U because it's underpowered. That wasn't the case. They sold barely 12 million units, but the Wii sold over 100 million units. Yeah. So, of course, they're going to do everything they can to put stuff out on that.
The problem was this. The problem with the Wii was we got to that point where we just got bombarded with shovelware. And garbage. Yeah. So people just stopped buying games unless it had Nintendo on it. Mm-hmm. So sadly, all these other companies kind of fell by the wayside because of that. So when the Wii U came out, it was kind of the same thing. Like people weren't buying third parties right out the gates, but they weren't buying third parties not because they were inordained with shovelware. It was the fact of like, why am I buying Mass Effect 3 when I could buy the Mass Effect trilogy on PlayStation 3 and 4 or an Xbox 360? Like, that's where Nintendo ran into a wall, where Nintendo should have told EA, like, no, get that out of here. You bring us the trilogy. We don't want part 3. Like, if you're porting that, if you're making that game, port us over the proper one. Don't port us over part 3. Makes no sense because nobody bought it. And that's why nobody bought it, And sadly, that was the problem with the Wii U, was they were getting consistent ports brought over. I feel like with Switch, Nintendo has a lot of powerful momentum going into this, especially January 12th. And I think that you're going to see a lot of people scooping them up, whether there's a scarcity or not. I don't know. I don't think there will be. I hope there's not, my God. But we'll see. It'll be interesting.
It will be for sure. And I mean, truthfully, I think Nintendo is going to be fine. I'm not worried about it. And something like Skyrim, like I didn't buy it. I've never owned one because I only play Nintendo. That's me. I'm not buying other systems. It's a lot of money just to fully dive in for one system and be all about them. So my wife especially isn't going to want me to dive into a PlayStation world or whatever. Yeah. But if it came to Nintendo, it's a game I would love to play that game.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go buy another system just for one game. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, you in particular, you're in a different position right now, especially with having a baby and all that stuff. For me, I don't have kids. So, and fortunately, I'm at a point in my life where, financially we sit in a better place than we did 10, 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. And, and that comes with age. That just comes with age and time. Like eventually you'll get to a point where you're just better off than you were. And so that said, like if there was a time where I was trading in games to buy the next game and all that stuff, I don't do it no more. I'm just like, hey, I'm just going to buy the new game when it comes out, and it is what it is. And I don't want to get rid of my collection and all that stuff. So, but for me, like I bought a PS4, because I love Batman. And I was like, there's no way that I'm not going to play the Arkham series or the finishing of the Arkham series because I don't have a PS4. So I went and bought a PS4 for it. But if I didn't have, like if I was in a situation where I didn't have the money, I would just own a Wii U. And that would be because that's how I've always been. I've always had Nintendo products. When I was growing up, I always had Nintendo, and then I bought the other games to play their exclusives, because I would always buy the third party on Nintendo consoles, Yeah. But now we're in a situation where I buy the other consoles for the third parties, and then buy Nintendo for their exclusives. And I'm hoping that it doesn't. Like, I'm hoping that I can really support third parties with Switch, and I hope they bring a lot of good stuff.
I think they will, man. I'm not too worried. I trust Nintendo. In the end, I trust them. So I feel pretty good about it. But Ryan, any other thoughts on that real quick?
No, just I can't wait for the big reveal and the rumors and everything to die down and us to get just become evangelical in our preaching of the Switch.
Oh Lord.
Amen. Amen. Preach it. I mean, I guess, maybe we could save it for next episode, Ryan, but I definitely want to go over a wish list of what I'm hoping to see at the reveal, and we'll see how true it comes. Ooh, but
that could get messy.
That's your next topic, Bobby. There you go.
I just did it. I told you. I just did a video. Man.
Oh yeah,
did a video of it.
Okay, I'll tell you real quick. I think I'm someone who's upset that I'm not upset. I'm bummed that Ukulele got. I don't care that it got canceled on the Wii U because it's coming to the Switch.
It's coming to Switch.
Of course it is, and they said they said they're making it for the Switch. Yeah. They just didn't give it a release date. My bold prediction is, they said they can't say anything about it. They're going to give more details early next year. Early next year is the Switch reveal. My guess is they're coming out with Nintendo and they're saying this is a day one launch game when the Switch launches in March. That's my bold prediction.
I would love, honestly, if Ukulele comes out, right, and Nintendo turns around and buys them out.
Oh, please do it.
And it's just like you can obviously they have to honor the commitments that were already done, but like any future games is theirs, and they would bring them in house and just work with them. Like that would be so amazing.
It's the smartest move to make.
Yeah, I just don't know. The thing of it is I just don't know how bad Nintendo's known for holding grudges, and I'm not sure if they would hold a grudge against the ex-Rare employees, or if they hold it against Microsoft for like scooping up Rare at the last minute on them. But it'd be interesting.
Well, if they do hold grudges, I mean, I would say it would be against the Stamper brothers who owned Rare and not these guys. These guys work for the Stamper brothers, and there's the Stamper brothers who's like, we're going on the market and we want to be sold. You know, we want to be bought out. So in my mind, it's smart. These guys made Donkey Kong Country. They made Banjo-Kazooie. They pretty much made the Nintendo 64 a success. Nintendo had their own, of course, but half the library was put out by this team of guys. Yeah. The majority of them. So I'm right there with you. But enough of that. I just want to say that out there. But I want to go ahead and jump into our topic of the week. And today, this lovely game topic was brought to you by the Nintendo guru, Bobby Pauls. And today we're going to be talking about Kid Icarus.
Yes.
All right, Kid Icarus was released on December 19th, 1986. And my first time experience of this, I have got to be honest, I did not own this game as a kid. This is not something from my own nostalgic past. My introduction to this was Kid Icarus Uprising. And once we got that, then I jumped back, let's play the older games. And never did beat the older game. I did beat Uprising, which was really difficult with those kind of controls.
Yeah, the controls are horrible.
They should really bring that back without those controls.
Yeah, I agree.
But I just want to, since I don't know too much about this, I want to quickly just kind of say what I think about the game. I got the NES Classic for Christmas, and I was blessed to get that, and I've been replaying a bunch of the old games. But I jumped back into Kid Icarus, especially because of this episode, and I wanted to just play through it. Well, I tried my hardest to play through it, and I'll tell you what I don't like about this game. It's freaking hard.
It is hard. It is hard.
My gosh, it took me... Okay, if I didn't have this little select save thing, I would never have beaten the first level because I get halfway up and then I select, or I'm saving it right here.
You know what, dude? I gotta go. This is ridiculous.
Hey, wait,
really?
Let me have my say, man. I did clue him in. I clued him in a little bit on the save when you get to a certain part, and then continue from there. So you have like a reset.
Bad. What are you doing?
I told him to do that, but now I have done it without the save states. And you know what? I played the first level over and over and over again. I could not beat it, and I hated the game so much with a passion. But then I found out, like, once I finally got past that first level, once you get to the second level and you start like learning, you can level your character up in some ways, like get like stronger weapons.
Yep.
And, like, it becomes so much more fulfilling. And like, plus once you get past the first level, if you fall into a pit, you don't start back at level 1. You start back at that level where you were playing, and that was. But I never got past the first level at first when I was playing as a kid.
It's freaking hard.
The thing of it is, okay, so look. The thing of it is you want to not rush through the first level. That's the trick. The trick is to kill everything. Kill everything that comes your way. When you go in to those boss levels where you're built, I don't want to call them boss levels. I want to call them training sessions. Yeah. Do the training sessions. And then you win, these items, and you use them. You know, you get your long arrow, you get your stronger bow, you get the lava pieces that float around you and stuff. But the key is in level 1, you want to kill everything. Then when you get to level 2, same thing, kill everything. And then because when you're killing everything, it actually allows you to go into the training sessions. And then the easiest thing I could tell you is, you line up a little to the left of the guy who's telling you about the training session, and they start throwing these like mirror-looking, like these flipping things. It looks like the Phantom Zone in the original Superman movie that Zod would get sucked off into. Mm-hmm. And these little things are floating down. You stand there and you just shoot up. Just shoot up, and anything that's coming down will get shot. And then occasionally you might have to shoot to the left because something might come zipping in to the left. You'll beat it the training session. You get whatever weapon you want. I typically went for long arrows. That way I could shoot far across the stage and kill stuff. And then you're off and running, man, and you're good to go. But the key is if you can make it through 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, 1-4, the rest is gravy. Because the minute you hit the 2s, it's so easy. Mm-hmm. So easy. I think 1-2 is probably the longest level on the whole stage, like the longest going up. It feels like it's forever to get to the top. But I'm telling you, man. And when you get stronger and stronger and stronger and more powerful, you just feel like a god, literally. You know, and if you beat the game, the nice thing about the game is if you beat it, you can keep going and beat it again and beat it again and beat it again. It becomes easier and easier and easier because you just start getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And it's like just awesomeness, man.
Well, I guess I may try to go back and replay it without saving as I climb up the level.
Listen, if you gotta be a little sissy, you go save in the middle.
And sometimes you gotta start with the training wheels on. You know what I'm saying?
No, man. Listen, I didn't get no training wheels in 1987 when I played it for the first time. Like it was like, go, like here you go. You die, you start over. You die, you start over. That's all it was.
That's why I never beat the original games because you got to start over every time. You didn't matter if you made it to World 8 on Mario Brothers. If you died, it's
you went all the way
start
back.
over. It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. I think so growing up, what I loved about this game was the fact that number one, it was hard and and you had that sense of accomplishment when you beat it and all that stuff. But I think what I loved about the game, it was you go through World 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, but then when you hit 1, 4, it did something totally different and it turned into like a dungeon per se. Okay. And you're going kind of like left, right, up, down, and it's not just up. You know, and then because all the 1 worlds you're going up, the 2 worlds you're going to the side, and then the 3 worlds you're going back up. So but when you go to the 4 of each of those worlds, it's a dungeon, and you have to go through and like it's like Zelda to some degree. Mm-hmm. Like it's not top down or nothing. You're still looking horizontally 2D, but it's you go in, you get your map, you get your torch so that we can mark the areas you've been to, and you go in. And the other thing I want to tell you is every time you see them little weird looking troll looking statues, you want to get as many hammers as you can. Because what you do is you take the hammer and you crack the statue, and you'll see an angel take off. So then when you go to the end and you fight the boss, all these angels come down and fight with you.
Oh.
And like you're shooting, every time you shoot, the angels shoot. So it makes it easier to kill the bosses. So the more angels you set free, the easier it is to beat the boss.
Wow.
It's really good, man. It's so good.
I mean, and the way they kind of set this game up, though, I suppose it really fits how it was back in the day where it had a lot of replay value. Whereas a game today,
yeah,
if you didn't know that and you're saving your progress, I mean, that stuff would be essentially gone, and you pass those chances to unlock an angel to help you at the end. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah, it's there was so much I loved. And the funny thing was like this game. I watched a Did You Know not that long ago, and it was funny because one guy was making this game, and it was taking them forever, and they were going to shelf the game. They were going to get rid of it, and then what they did was when the Metroid team finished Metroid, they sent them all over to help make the game, and they finished the game in like 6 months because they gave the guy like you only got 6 months I don't care what you had, that game's going out in 6 months. So there's a section when you get to the game, it looks like Metroids are floating down.
I think I've seen that.
And that's like an homage to the Metroid game.
Oh, that's cool.
It's pretty neat.
That is neat. I knew there was some kind of connection with Metroid and Kid Icarus.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Well, I can tell you what I did like about the game was I thought that music is sweet, dude.
Yeah, it's really good,
especially in World 1-1 because I spent a lot of time on it. I love it. I love when the drums come in. Oh, I don't know. I'm a big music guy. I love listening to. I'm to the point now where I've listened to so many of my favorite bands. I'm sick of it. So now I'm always listening to video game music soundtracks.
Yeah, I do that too. It does have a great soundtrack. It really does, and it's classic 8-bit music.
It is.
It's really good, man. It's really good. I like it a lot.
I like it too. Ryan, I kind of said my first experience with it, and really my only experience. What about you, man? When did you have this game as a kid?
I think it was at my grandmother's house, but I would always get it confused with this other game where you'd be climbing and doing platforming, and for some reason I could never figure out the title of the game. It had like this rare like bonus power up that was actually the Hudson Soft B that you could collect. I never could figure out what that game was, but I always get that mixed up with Kid Icarus. But Kid Icarus always reminded me of Ice Climbers. I played Ice Climbers early on. And that climbing and the bottom becoming a pit as you climb higher. Yeah. And that was kind of the feel for it at first. It was like an Ice Climbers feel. And I didn't realize the depth of it. Like Ice Climbers didn't have depth to it other than it just got progressively harder and threw in some new mechanics. Like you could actually upgrade and things and Kid Icarus. And that's what I really liked about it. But it was frustrating at first for me because I was like, why aren't the hearts like healing me? They should heal me. I don't understand this. And I didn't know that hearts weren't health; they were more currency. And
yeah, that confused me too. Because I mean, I guess if you never played the game, you only played something like Zelda, you would think, "Oh, this is health. This is going to keep me alive."
Yeah, I thought the same thing too. And then I grabbed the first like wine glass. I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, that's health." Okay, and then that's the thing, like. And you do have access to all the instruction booklets when you scan in for the thing. So, but when I was a kid, I had the instruction booklet, and I would flip through, and I was like, "Oh, okay." So this little bottle is like a reserve. You'll see a bottle; it looks like a soda bottle. Yeah, that's a reserve life potion. So when you run out of life, it refills your life bar. So that's a good one to buy as well. But they're a little pricey.
What does the barrel do? I never bought it, so. Like one of the first shopkeeps that you run into, there's the bottle, there's the feather, and in the middle there's like this brown thing that looks kind of like a barrel.
Oh my god, dude! I forget. I know what I know. Exactly
I never had the money to purchase it, so
yeah,
Bobby's too old, Bobby.
I know. I never, dude. It's been so long since I bought the barrel. So let me look it up. Let me see. But I always like to.
Go ahead.
That's not it.
Where that little wine glass was, by the way, in level 1, that's where I saved it. So I'm right there if I die.
It takes a lot of patience in the first level, especially with the Reapers. Like, just wait for them, hit them, don't let them rain down their enemies. Now, if you're really good at dodging the enemies, yeah, go for it and get the hearts from them. But, like, for me, I just usually try to avoid setting off the Reapers as best possible.
Well, Bobby, for my own knowledge, would you recommend to actually get caught by the Reaper so I can collect more hearts from these little dudes that fly down and attack you? Or do you think avoid them at all costs?
I try to avoid the Reapers because what happens is when the Reapers see you and they're freaking out, you can't hurt them.
Yeah.
So you can shoot them and it doesn't do anything to them. So I just get away from them. But it says right here, the barrel. What's better than holding one bottle of life, holding 8 of them? So, but you'll never be able to hold more than one without this barrel. So what you do is you buy the barrel, and then you could buy more of the bottles.
Okay.
The bottle of life, it's called. So that's a good one. And the credit card, don't buy the credit card, man. I learned at a very young age that that's horrible. I used a credit card once, and it took me forever to pay back the debt. The angel feather is good because when you fall down, it picks you back up, and you can fly back up where you want to go.
I think it's one of the best items. I just really love that.
You have the map, you have the pencil, and you have the torch. So what that is you get the map obviously in the dungeon, and then the pencil will show you where you were. So it'll track everywhere you've been, and then the torch will blink and show you where you currently are. So that's a good thing, to know when you go into the dungeons and stuff. The mallet that opens up they call them centurions, but that's the little angels that come out. The harp, when you grab the harp, any of those enemies that kind of float down, they turn into mallets, and you could grab them real quick. That's always a good thing. That's pretty much it. And then your sacred treasures, those are the ones you're going to use to fight Medusa at the end of the game. Mm-hmm. So that's the mirror shield, the arrow of light, and Pegasus wings. And the 3 weapons that you can earn by beating the trials is the crystal rod, the flaming arrow, and the sacred bow. So the sacred bow will shoot further. The flaming arrow will put flames around the tip of the arrow, so you can shoot wider amounts of stuff. So if there's a couple things coming at you, and then the crystal rod will put these crystals that float around you. And the other thing too is if your energy isn't almost full, these things won't activate. So you could buy one of those things, and then you're like, it's not doing anything. Why isn't it doing anything? It's because your life levels are too low. So there's a lot of not nice. It's a hard game. There's a lot of cool little things that they do with this that make it this is pretty awesome. I like how they did this. I
did find an enemy that infinite spawns. So if you're ever short on money, those flame things that pop up out of the ground, you just step aside, you duck, you hold down duck till they shoot their fireball, you pop up immediately and shoot them. Yeah, and it's just continuously gaining that money, and that's helped me out a lot. That helped me a lot when I played through it. So
yeah.
Cool. You guys are talking about stuff I don't even know, so that's fine. But Bobby, I'm really curious since you talked about this topic was what you brought to the table, and you got any old memories you can crank out of your head there that you really relate to this game? That when you think of Kid Icarus,
the only thing for me that makes me when I think back to Kid Icarus. Number one was it's the first game I ever beat. So
okay,
and when I was growing up, I never paid attention. Well, okay, let me put it this way: it's the first game that I beat that I paid attention to.
Okay,
beating this game because it was so hard that when I finally beat it, I was like, I'm writing this down that I beat it, and I actually started a journal as a kid of all the different games that I beat at that time. And Kid Icarus was always the first one. And because of that, it always held a special place in my heart that, this is the first game that I beat, or the first one that I can remember beating. And it just, I remember the difficulty of it. I remember getting it too. And that was, I pretty much couldn't my mom was like, what do you want for Christmas? And I said, I like to get, or I mean, my birthday. Because my Christmas, it's obviously December. My birthday's in January. So it's like right after. And my mom was like, well, Christmas just passed. And, you know, I didn't really buy anything this year. I figured we would take you to the store. You could buy something, pick something out. So I was like, all right. And we went to the mall, and it was KV Toys at the time. And I went in, and I was just looking and looking and looking. I was like, you know, that the box just stood out to me for some reason, man. And it was like silver packaging and all that. And I was like,
yeah,
I'd like to get that, Mom. And she's like, okay. And I got it. And I was saying this before. Growing up, I didn't even know how to say Kid Icarus. I used to call it Kid Icarus. That was always what I called it, Kid Icarus. That's what it is. And, I didn't. I just sounded it out, Kid Icarus. And Sean's rolling in his grave right now. He's cringing. He's cringing right now, and he's like, well, I can't believe you didn't know how to say that.
Icarus.
And
must be something with you January babies. I don't know.
You know what? Stop. You didn't know either. You had no clue.
No, I didn't.
But for me, it was just like, so that's like the fondest memories for me is like the fact when I beat it, the first one being the first one, writing it in the journal, you know, keeping track. Because after that, then I just kept track of everything I ever beat after that. And then when I got it, you know, when I picked it up for my birthday at KB, and it was, we went to KB. It was funny because I used to go to KB all the time after that because that's when I got my first Nintendo. That was the store I got my Nintendo in.
Yeah.
It was the KB, and that was the one I was talking about on Sean's show where, you know, I made my mom rush us down to the store to go get it. And so, like, every time I would go to the mall, I was like, I got to go to KB. I got to go to KB. And it got to the point where they really didn't have anything good there. It was just like, oh, this is bad. Like, it got bad. It got bad for a while there. And then that's when, not long after, like, Electronic Boutique opened up and all that stuff. But that's pretty much it. That's my feelings on, or my memories on that game.
Well, I mean, that's cool. I didn't realize or know that it was your the first game that you ever beat.
Yeah,
I mean,
man. Yeah.
That's really special.
It is. It is, you know. And I would have, look, the thing of it is, it's like I probably would have beaten other games before, but like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out took up my life. Like it took everything within me to beat Tyson. Like that was my divine goal in life was to beat Tyson.
Yeah.
And so for me, like I would play Tyson, but this was the game that like kind of drew me away from playing Punch-Out. You know, like this would be my break game. This would be my game that got me away from playing Punch-Out all the time. So I've always like, it's always been my 1-2, you know, my like a 1-2 punch for me. It's always been Punch-Out and Kid Icarus. Like for a very long time, and I'll be honest with you, for a very long time, like Kid Icarus was my favorite game of all time. And then it wasn't until later on in life that I look back on life and I was like, you know what, Punch-Out's probably got to be my all-time favorite because I played it so much. And then, but I think the problem is that, and the reason why Kid Icarus didn't remain was kind of fell off.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything after. I mean, they did the Game Boy game, and I was like, I really wasn't a fan of Game Boy games because of the discoloration and the green color and the puke green, and it's just.
Well, they always felt like they were like the lesser version.
Yeah,
that's how I always viewed them.
Yeah, so I didn't really mess with the Game Boy version, and then Uprising. Like I was so disappointed with Uprising when they came out. When they first announced Kid Icarus was coming, I got so excited. Because I thought, here we go, man. I'm going to be able to dive back in and have a great time at this game. And then I played it, and I was just like, oh, the controls are horrible, man. And it's like, to me, it was Space Harrier. You know, I was playing Space Harrier on a Nintendo console. And I was just like, this is bad, man. This is so bad. But, I mean, it's a good game. I don't want to kill the game. It's a good game, but it's just, the controls make it kind of difficult, honestly.
Did you get a chance, right around when Uprising came out, they released a 3D Classics version. Did you get a chance to play through that one? That was a beautiful render of it. Yes.
They basically 3D rendered the original Kid Icarus. I own it. It's on my 3DS. I didn't beat it, but I've played a lot of it. And it's so good. It's so good. And the backgrounds are different it's more in depth. That 3D just pops. Like, it's so amazing. It's so amazing. I didn't play, like, it's sad because when the original 3DS hit, I didn't play a lot of games in 3D because you had to have that sweet spot. You had to hold your arms, lock your arms in. So it was horrible. And then when I haven't tried it on the new 3DS, which is a little bit better.
It's wonderful.
I should go back and try it.
You should. Or just play it on your NES Mini.
I've done that too. It's a lot of fun.
Have you beaten it? Did you save all the way through it and stuff?
You know what? I didn't beat it on the NES Mini. Before I hooked, I'm looking here because I have my TV like right here with my NES Mini right next to me. And before I had this set up, I was like, I'm not playing the NES Mini. I actually had it in the box on the shelf. I'm like, I'm not gonna play it because this is the most ridiculous setup. I got these little miniature arms. It's like Nintendo created T-Rex.
Yeah.
And, like these controllers are like these little tiny controllers. Like, come on, man. And I was like, I literally had to pull my chair almost all the way up to my TV just to be able to play with my arms extended, so I wasn't ripping the wall. I'm like, no. But when I
know what you're saying.
So what I did was I was playing Kid Icarus on the Virtual Console, utilizing the NES Classic, the NES Mini controller, the original controller, because this controller is the best ever.
Yes.
When you're playing an NES game, like this is the controller you have to have in your hand. So what happened was I started playing Kid Icarus with this, and I was getting really, really far. And then I was like, I started to get the itch. And I was like, I want to play these other games, and I didn't feel like buying them all on the Wii U. Mm-hmm. So I said, you know what? Let me stop being stupid. And I pulled the other TV off the wall and put it here on the desk, and then I hooked up my NES Classic to it.
Smart.
Yeah, it works. It's a nice setup. I like it. Works well.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a freaking adapter for my NES Classic, but you can't find them anywhere right now. Like to make the cords extended.
Don't do that. Don't do that. If you can, listen, I don't know how your house set up is and all that, but if you can pick up a little TV, that's your best bet. So you get a little TV. I have the little TV here, right? I got the HDMI hooked up to the back of the TV. I got the USB hooked up to the TV. So as long as the TV's on, I have power to my NES Mini, and then I just sit here and play it in front of the TV. It's a much better setup. Seriously. And when the Super Mini comes out next year, you're going to have it all right there.
Well, hopefully they fix their cord issue and we don't have that.
They're not going to. They're Nintendo.
What my setup is we have a screen in our living room, and we actually have a kotatsu table, which is a Japanese style table with a heater underneath of it. You put a blanket over it anyway. And we can position it such that we can play the NES Mini while our feet are sitting underneath the kotatsu keeping warm. And it's a nice little setup for the Mini.
Where did you find this kid? Seriously.
Well, he's older, so he
where do you find
me.
Where do you find this table at, man? Who
ordered it from J-List from Japan.
Oh my God! You got to get me one. Send me a link to this thing. This thing sounds amazing. I want one now.
Wow! Oh, right, there you go. Ryan gives you tips on how to make your gaming experience better.
I could be sitting here right now, all nice and toasty, playing my NES Classic. This is
no, it is like a coffee table size, so it's like sitting on the floor type thing. But
that's fine. I don't care. That's fine. I could do it. That's awesome.
Well, there you go, Ryan. His birthday's coming up, so why don't you just send it his way?
Better yet, don't send me a link. Just send me the table. All right, we're good to go. That's all.
We do owe him for the show, so
no, stop it.
It only makes sense.
No.
Well, guys, I think that's pretty good. I mean, that's all I can really say about the game. I can promise I will try to beat this the right way, just for you, Bob.
It's fine. You could listen. If you want to beat it the millennial way, knock yourself out.
Don't. I'm a millennial, but I don't like.
If you want to take the easy way out of life, like all millennials do, knock yourself out.
No, I don't want to be like. I don't want to be like them. I want to be like you.
Well, then go play it the right way. Don't be cheating and save states.
Well, I say that, and
I say that, and I got save states all through my NES Classic. So. But I do it because, you know what, man? I don't do it. All right, so I do it because I'm going to walk away and I want to save the game. I don't do it to, like, take advantage. Like, I know people that'll play Mega Man and will get right to the last boss, get up to the boss, hit a save state, and then enter. And if they die, they reboot and go back. Yep. That's cheating. I don't care what you say. That's cheating. That's blasphemous, right?
I have done that a couple times.
Yeah.
But I just beat Mario 1 for the first time ever, okay? And I didn't do it necessarily like that. I did it so we're like, okay, I played through and I got to World 4-1 and I saved it then. Yeah.
Life happens. You got to go.
Yeah.
Well, I felt like maybe if I can get through the world, I feel like that's a good place to save because, in my opinion, that's like a game today. There's save stations at save points, and the fact that you can't have the ability to save, I felt like that's okay.
Stop it. Just end the show. Let's go.
Oh. Okay. Well, with that said, Ryan, why don't you do our due diligence?
Sure thing, man. You can find us on SoundCloud and iTunes. You can find us on Facebook. Like us on there. Get into the conversation. Also, join us on Twitter at Nintendo_NOS. That's at Nintendo_NOS. And if you want to shoot us an email, talk about some nostalgic things to your Nintendo life, go to nintendonostalgiain@gmail.com.
And Bobby, tell everybody where they can find you and what you're all about. I mean, they already know you're the guru, so give them the spiel.
Follow me, Instagram, Twitter, at Nintendo Gurus. Got 2 podcasts. Got the Geekcast, and I have If We Were in Nintendo with Sean, the Geekcast with Toby. They're both on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher. Check us out on We the Nerdy over at If We Were in Nintendo. Like, We the Nerdy is seriously like a great website. To me, it's like what IGN used to be. And it's just phenomenal, dude. They got great reviews on video games, comic books, movies, television, you name it, they got it. They have a whole slew of podcasts that we have. Like, that's where Sean's podcasts are hosted at over there. And thankfully, they brought us, If We Were in Nintendo, on board. Andrew is just awesome. So please go check that stuff out.
Absolutely. And guys, if you ever are interested in playing Kid Icarus, clearly you can find this on the eShop. You can find, if you have an old Nintendo, go to your retro store and get it. If you haven't got a NES Classic, I'm sure they'll be coming back out again. Get it. If you do have it, you can find this game there. And go give Kid Icarus Uprising a try. That's the latest game in the series for the 3DS. The controls are a little tough, but if you can get the hang of it, it's not a bad game. I mean,
no, it's not bad. It's a good game.
Not at all. So
ready for a new play control.
Yes, absolutely. So, with that said, guys, Bobby, thank you so much for being on the show, and we hope that a lot of people listen to this one because it's a special one to have you on here. And seriously, we mean that, and we thank you so much. And we look forward and want to have you back again for some more special episodes in the future.
Thank you.
All right.
Hey, we won't see you before then, so Merry Switchmas.
Exactly.
Well, Merry Switchmas to all, and to all, good night.
Yes.
Good night, everybody.
See you.